Guys, welcome back to Craftability. My name's Street Life Terrell, and I'm here with Patrice. But before she starts talking, our Christmas tree's up. It's Christmas time, and guess what we're making? Ornaments.
We're making ornaments. So we are making ornaments. We're also doing these ornaments in the school. We're making them for staff, and we have a whole bunch to make. So I am showing Terrell how to make these so that he can actually help me out. Typically we have an elf here that helps us, but he really hasn't been keeping up with the orders, and so we're going to try to knock some of those out. But today we are going to be using these plastic ornaments from Michaels. They have glass ornaments, but you can get like a bucket of ornaments. These are a mixture of the flats and the rounds, but you can get a bucket like this for about $24-25, maybe less, and also make sure you use your coupons. We're going to be using Beacon Glitter It, which will be poured inside. This stuff is kind of hard to find around the holiday season, so you want to get this late summer if you're going to get it. If you can't get a hold of any of this, you can go ahead and try using polyacrylic. I use that often when I run out of my glitter it. We have some glitter from Glitter Makes It, and we are going to be using the punk rocker color for today's ornament. Okay, so we are going to get started. So we are using a large ornament today, and you're just going to have to remove the top. And you want to keep it handy because you don't want to lose that. And so if you have a dropper, so sometimes we either use a dropper to get it into the ornament, or with this particular bottle, we can just pour it inside. So I'm just gonna pour it inside, and you wanna pour enough that you coat all of the inside of the ornament, all right? And so the big one is a little bit hard to kind of make sure that it doesn't fall out, because the smaller ones, you can kind of put your finger on top of the opening and just swish it around. But the bigger one, you have to be careful because my fingers aren't that big, and you don't really want any of that liquid to come out. You don't want to waste this liquid, really. All right, so I'm just turning it around and making sure that I'm coating all of the inside of it, and any excess liquid, I'm just going to pour that right back into the bottle. Because guess what? It's still perfectly usable. You can either pour it back into the bottle, or if you are going to be doing another ornament, you can just pour it directly into that ornament. So I am just trying to make sure I don't make a mess. Uh-oh, I made a mess. And so you can get a cup, and when you're doing this, get the cup and you can kind of pour it out into the cup as well, like a styrofoam cup. So I am just gonna go ahead and pour the rest of this liquid that I can salvage back into the container. And as I'm pouring it, I am going to just kind of coat it a little bit around right there. But you don't want any extra liquid inside. All right, so now it's time for us to pour the glitter inside. And so typically you should have like an actual funnel, but I did not bring a funnel from home. So our elf actually made this makeshift funnel, which gets the job done also, because you just put your funnel inside and you can go ahead and pour your glitter inside of the funnel. Now, we also could do a piece of paper, fold it, crease it, and pour the glitter inside and kind of put it in that way. But for today, we are going to use this lovely contraption that our elf made for us. Uh-oh, I poured an awful lot.
Patrice messed up. Or what does everybody on the internet say? Patrice made a novice mistake.
Everybody on the internet says that?
Yep.
Who's everybody? And so we're just going to go ahead and coat it like this, and it actually looks like I might need a little bit more, but this is such a pretty color. I really like it because it almost like shifts colors from blue to this purple. And I really, really like that. So I am just gonna go ahead and keep doing it. And it does look like there's a part where I may need to put a little more adhesive onto the bobble, possibly over here, but once I turn it, I will know for certain. And so you want to do this relatively quick once you put the glue inside, because you don't want the glue to actually dry. So it is going, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that sheet of paper that I had and just kind of, you know, make sure that this goes out. And so, and just lightly tap it. You can tap any of that extra glitter that is not stuck. But as you see, it coated it pretty nicely. I didn't really put too much in there, which is cool. But I do want to go ahead and hit this area right here because you can see through it. And I don't want to be able to see through it. So I'm just making sure. So now all of this glitter is stuck to the bobble, but you want to make sure you let it dry. So just know that it's not dry yet. So what I'm going to do next is, because I have that little opening there, I'm just going to drop a few drops of this glitter right there in that area. Uh-oh, do I have the container open? I do. I'm going to drop a few. What? Wasting the glitter. I don't have much of it.
Patrice messed up again.
I don't have much of the glitter. I need a new piece of paper. I don't want the glitter on there to get on there. Get your life together. So we are going to go ahead and drop a few drops right there. And I'm just rolling it around, trying to coat it. And I still have to be a little careful because guess what? This is still open. I can't, my finger is not going to be able to stop it. So that is coating that area where I want it to get to. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and pour the same glitter that we had. Just reuse that glitter, and we're going to pour it into the bobble. Here I'm using the paper. We're pouring it inside. And then I am just going to go ahead and bring it back up to coat that part that did not get the coating on it at first. But the rest of it is good. And now it's coming out. So you can still reuse that. And then most of it could still use a little bit more. So I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit and probably apply a little bit more in there. This is what we have so far. Okay, y'all, so it's nicely coated, and I am just going to go ahead and put the top right back on. Let it dry. You don't want it to fall because we did let it fall and we had to kind of, you know, doctor it up a bit, but now this is back on here. But you want to always make sure you have all of that glitter, any glitter that is not attached, out. And so all we did was hold it inside of the cup for a little bit to make sure all of that glitter fell out. So this is what we have left.
At this point, it's time to go to the Cricut and cut out our letters. On the gold vinyl, we decided to write "Best Teacher Ever," and then on the red, we're just going to put a little apple. Our next step is just weeding out the letters, which I let Patrice have a try doing since she's a novice.
So now it's time for us to apply our decal, and sometimes it can be a little difficult applying decals to this surface because it is not flat, it is round. And so the best way that I found is to spray a little bit of water onto it, and that way prior to placing the decal on it, and then you will be able to kind of get it on there a little bit smoothly. So I don't have my scraper, which is inside the craft room, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use the scissors in the back. And then I'm gonna flip it over to the front. And today we're using Cricut adhesive foil to apply it to the ornament. All right, and so let's go ahead. Let me kind of keep it down a little bit. Hopefully this will stay on. And then I am just keeping it down. And so you don't want to pull it up in the slightest, because when you do, that's when it doesn't stick to this transfer tape. And I'm using transfer tape from Amazon, so and I had to recut this because I placed the other adhesive foil that I had onto a backing that was not good for it. So, and that one came off just fine. All right, so we're all set. And so now we're gonna get ready to place it on top, but I'm gonna get a little bit of water because I may need to maneuver this around a little bit. Let me get a little bit of water, guys. So there's a few ways that you can apply your decals to round surfaces. Sometimes snipping slits in the transfer tape and around your image will help you be able to maneuver it correctly. We are going to be applying a little bit of water, and I'm just going to put water on the surface. You can get a spray bottle. The spray bottle works really good, but we're just, putting some water here. And don't worry, the water will dry, and as long as you're using permanent vinyl, it will be just fine. This will not affect it. All right, so we put a little bit of water. I am now going to take the decal, and we are just going to place it just like this. And then once I have it on top, we'll be able to kind of maneuver it around a little bit. And this is not too bad. I'm just gonna put a little bit of water under here. But really a spray bottle would work really good. So as I'm going now, I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling this off. And then once you peel that off, then it kind of loosens it up a bit. And then I'm placing the word teacher on, and I'm gonna peel the word teacher. And the same way we peeled it from the backing, kind of wanna just, not pull up on it. And so as you see, it's not fully adhered. And then I'm going to do the word ever. All right. And so now with the water on it, it makes it to where it's not stuck yet. So you can go ahead and kind of maneuver your letters around so that they fall into place as they should. And then you can kind of slide it around, press it down, and I'm gonna move this over just a little. And then once it dries, it's gonna be nice and flat. So this is what we have so far. And then
towards the screen.
I'm just going to get some of that water off. So we have one more part that we need to put on, and this part I'm not really worried. It's an apple. And the apple is going to go right here in the corner. And I chose to use like a red apple. Even though it's purple and blue. And then that apple is just gonna come off just like that. But as this dries, and this is what we have so far. There's water underneath there, so that's gonna be moved up a little bit. All right, y'all, so it's just that simple. You can go ahead and get a ribbon, tie a ribbon on here or around the top and, you know, make it pretty. Also, if you want to seal it, you can use a sealer. This is just Mod Podge, and just to seal it in, it's up to you. But you don't really want it to look streaky, okay? So you want to be careful how you apply the sealer. But this is what we have. I think it turned out great. Look at those letters. Everything is nice and flat, even though this surface is a little bit odd. And I love how it turned out. I do think that a lighter color of permanent vinyl, you want to use permanent vinyl when you're doing it. I do think that a lighter color would help it to pop a little bit more because the glitter is so dark. But this is all we had. So this is what we went with. And I still like it. So thanks for watching, y'all, and until next time.